There's a single decision that every successful coach I know has made. One decision that multiplies the impact they make, and for most, multiplies their coaching income as well. Now, you might be wondering who I am and why this is different than all the other inflated promises and hyped up marketing messages you probably see every day. And those are valid questions. I'm going to get to them. But first of all, let me tell you about me. My name is Sean Smith, and I've been in this coaching industry for 17 plus years. I've made millions and millions of dollars when things were going well and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars when they weren't. In fact, I filed bankruptcy in my third year of business because I didn't know what to do. After making $200,000 that year, by the way. And then I learned the lessons and was able to steady the ship, and here I am 14 years later, still kicking. Now that means I've seen a lot of impactful coaches, and I've seen a lot of great coaches who never make even close to the impact they want to make or the money. I've seen pretty much everything out there. People coming and going, fads coming and going, platforms coming and going. And what I'm always fascinated by and focused on is why. Why do some people succeed while most people fail? What's the distinction? Why do these people win and those people lose? What do these people know that those people don't? What do these people do that those people don't? And I'm always focused on simplicity because simple actions move the needle, but a complicated mind rarely accomplishes anything. So if there's one thing that makes the difference, what would that be? It's actually a single decision. One that you may have never even considered because most people aren't aware of it. Is it even that possible that a single decision is responsible for sorting impactful coaches from all the coaches who are equally talented but not nearly as impactful? Stick with me for a few minutes and you might just end up being as certain as I am. If so, you may just make that decision for yourself and permanently change the trajectory of your coaching business. Now, neither of us want you looking back on this moment 2 or 3 years from now wishing you would have made the shift the first time you heard about it. I didn't know about this concept when I had to file bankruptcy in my third year. And because I didn't know about it, I did everything I thought was the right thing to avoid the collapse. But in reality, everything I did guaranteed the collapse. If I would have known, I could have most likely avoided the massive destruction it caused in my business and the personal toll it took on me. But my story is not unique. Even if people don't get to the point where they file bankruptcy, every day a ton of people quit on their goals and dreams in this industry because they don't know about the shift that they have to make. Now, even though stories like this are super common in the coaching world, it begs the question, why do so many people not make the one decision that changes everything? I mean, besides the fact that they don't know they need to make it. Here's why. It's probably the single biggest factor working against you choosing the right path for yourself. And I call it the lie of commoditized advantages. Here's what I mean. You're being told that this software or that info product is the secret advantage you've been looking for. But this supposed secret advantage is available to you and everybody else. That makes it a commodity. Anyone can get the software. Anyone can buy the info product. And it's delivered without the creator having to lift a finger. It's high leverage for them. Everyone has access to it. And you have to figure out the personalization on your own. A commodity can't be a secret advantage to anyone but its creator. It's in their best interest to convince as many people as possible to buy it, and they usually don't mind positioning it as the secret advantage or the missing ingredient in your success recipe. But it can't be your secret ingredient. Your secret ingredient can never be found outside yourself because you are the only competitive advantage you'll ever need, and you are your own secret ingredient. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll stop chasing all the opportunities and guarantees that keep disappointing you. And here's the deeper problem. When you make purchases because you feel incomplete or inadequate, those purchases will reinforce your deepest fears and most powerful limiting beliefs. This is choosing from a state of disempowerment, and the seeds of disempowerment can never produce the results you want. I mean, you wouldn't expect apple seeds to grow an orange tree. Same thing here. And when we expect something that's impossible, we usually turn our feelings of disappointment against ourselves. We blame and chastise ourselves, even though there was no chance of getting the result we were hoping for. Now, do you see how this can put us into a downward spiral that's nearly impossible to escape from on our own? Chasing external secret ingredients is a painful and expensive way to eventually discover that secret ingredients don't actually exist out there. If you're a human, you've probably experienced this frustration more times than you can count, right? Yet you know that secret ingredients do exist, just not where you've been looking for them. And that's because you are the secret ingredient you've been searching for. Somewhere within you, you know this is true. Just take a moment to accept that. Now, if you're still with me here, I'm going to assume two things, and I'm going to speak to you as if those two things are true. First, I'll assume that you want to be an impactful coach. And second, I'll assume that you know you are the secret ingredient to impact. Okay, so the next piece here. In my 17 plus years in coaching, observing thousands of coaches at all skill levels, every impactful coach I've ever seen has this single thing going for them. And everyone who is lacking in their impact is missing this thing. Now, you don't have to like it, but here's what I've seen to be true. Every impactful coach works for a successful entrepreneur, period. They work for someone who has a powerful system for turning coaching talent into impact in the world. And that's what entrepreneurs do, turn talent into impact. So if you want to make an impact, your coaching must be under the leadership of a successful entrepreneur. That part isn't even up for discussion. But here is your decision. It's the master decision for the impactful coach. Option one, will you work for that successful entrepreneur and let them turn your talent into their impact? Now, there aren't a lot of these coaching positions around, and they don't pay well usually. But if you look hard enough, you might be able to find someone to pay you for your coaching skills, as long as you work within their system. It might not be the exact impact you're looking to make, but you could help people with their lives or relationships or health. This is for coaches with an employee mindset. Or option two, will you become that successful entrepreneur that turns your own talent into your own impact? Will you grab the reins of your own coaching business? Will you stand so powerfully for your talent that you attract mind-blowingly cool and amazing clients? Will you be proud that you're making the impact and the money you know is possible? Those are your two choices. Will you work for a successful entrepreneur, or will you become a successful entrepreneur? Now, neither option is morally superior to the other. This is not a moral dilemma. But one of the two options is more aligned for you than the other. And my invitation is, the only thing for you to do now is commit 100% to whichever one is most aligned to you. And as harsh as it may sound, I urge you to go all in one of these two options or quit coaching altogether. Because partial commitment to either one of them is a miserable experience, and it's a waste of your brief ride on this planet. You haven't overcome all the obstacles you've overcome to be a half-in coach. That's beneath you. So pick your path or quit. It really is that simple. Now, have you made your decision? If your decision is to work for someone else who's going to turn your talents into impact, good for you. I'm glad you have that clarity. I don't have anything to support you, but I wish you well. But if your decision is to be that entrepreneur who turns your talent into impact, it's important that you know this. Creating the talent and skills you've built is a different game than creating impact with your talent and skills. Make sure you get that point. Creating talent and creating impact are different games. Both are required. And the talent you've created is what you bring to the table to create the impact. But since creating talent and creating impact are different games, they have different rules and different laws. Let's use a surgeon as an example. The surgeon must understand human anatomy in addition to all kinds of core disciplines. Then she must apply anatomy in the operating room. If she doesn't sufficiently understand anatomy, it doesn't matter how great her surgical skills are. You have coaching skills and talents that you've developed. Entrepreneurship as a coach, however, is like surgery for the doctor. It's very different from the acquisition of coaching talent, yet it follows the same principles of learning. You need to understand who you are and what game you're playing. You haven't completed the talent acquisition game. It never ends. But it's time to shift your focus to building your entrepreneurial skills for impact. Notice I didn't say learn about being an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur means that more than merely knowing, you understand it in your bones, and your bones start to spontaneously act out your new skills without you even thinking about it. The goal is to get your bones to take action without your brain getting in the way. If you've been driving for 10 years or 30 years, this is what's happening when you're behind the wheel, right? Your bones know how to drive so well that most of your brain is not even required. So the big question is, how do we get entrepreneurship into our bones? Now, you probably already guessed, It's practice. Practice of the most important skills at the right time, and we need timely, accurate expert feedback. This is why I've created Entrepreneur School for Coaches. Not to teach your brain, but to teach entrepreneurship to your bones. Our objective is to turn you into an unstoppable entrepreneur. In eSchool for Coaches, you're going to learn three main things: how to unlock your entrepreneurial creativity, how to reclaim your entrepreneurial identity, and how to integrate entrepreneurial strategy. And when those three components come together, you'll be unstoppable. But until they come together, you'll forever struggle as a coach. But here's the bigger problem. The thing that almost everybody thinks is the most important is actually the least important by far. But nearly everyone is selling it because nearly everyone is buying it, so almost everyone is shooting at the wrong targets. And what I've learned is that if the target's wrong, it doesn't matter if you hit it. In eSchool for Coaches, we'll help set up and hit the right targets for you for entrepreneurial success so that you can create the impact, influence, and income you deserve and desire. Check out the information on this page and see if you're ready to make the one decision that can and will change everything in your future as a coach. I hope you do.